Hi guys, it's Nessa here again. Just coming back to you with a quick video this time, just in relation to the property market and what you need to do when you want to sell your property. About a week or so ago, we were doing a small bit of market research, and on our Instagram stories, we had posted a few questions that a lot of you had answered. So thanks very much for that. It really helped with just a few bits and pieces we have going on in the background here and just a bit of research we needed to do. But one of the things that surprised me the most on it was, I think it was in around 70% had voted that they don't know what to do if they had a property that they were thinking of selling. So today I'm just going to quickly touch on that topic and just a few hints and tips. Hopefully it won't go on as long as my last video. So if you are a homeowner and you are thinking of selling your property, basically your first port of call is to give an agent, us, a phone call where we would offer a free market appraisal. And what that entails is basically we would value your property, let you know how much your house is worth, discuss the current market, what way things are at the time. There's no obligation for you to put your property on the market afterwards. If it's a thing, sometimes people might think that their house is worth X amount, and then us as the valuer comes out and says, no, it's actually worth a little bit less than what you thought, or a good bit less, or whatever. So if that happens and you're deciding that you're not selling, that's perfectly fine. There is no fee for that appointment, and again, you're not under any obligation to sell your property afterwards. But hopefully, generally when people ring for these type of appointments, they kind of are really thinking about selling their property. So if you have that appointment and you're really happy with the value that we have told you your house is worth, the next step generally is you would instruct us then to sell your property. When we get to that stage, basically there's a small bit of paperwork that we would do here in the office. You will be required to provide us with the photo ID for you as a seller, proof of address, and then there's like a letter of engagement between us, the selling agent, and you, the seller. So we would just collect those bits and pieces of information and get you to sign the letter of engagement. And then very important is any property for sale or for rent in Ireland requires a building energy rating certificate. So if you don't have one of those done, we can help you out. There is a few assessors here that we would recommend, and you would need to get that done. It's a once-off fee. It lasts for 10 years. I know if you're intending to sell, you're not going to get 10 years worth out of it, but you definitely, like your solicitor would need it. It forms part of the contracts. But if it's a thing then on the flip that you were going to rent out your property, your last you 10 years. Okay, so at that stage then we would be taking in the property for sale. So we would go out and do like the measurements and the photographs and compile all the information, make a brochure, advertise it online, the for sale sign goes into the garden. I would recommend that at an early stage, and ideally like what I like is that when we are going out at the initial taking in of the property, that you will have a solicitor that you will appoint that is going to look after the sale for you. It's always a very good idea to have this done early on, because there's a few bits and pieces that you as a seller will need to give your solicitor, and not everyone knows about them. And sometimes the sellers mightn't appoint a solicitor until the property has gone sale agreed, and then it kind of just delays the sales process. So it's a very good idea to have your solicitor appointed generally from the start. Like they require obviously like the deeds for the house. If there's a mortgage on the property, generally the deeds will be held in the bank's head office up in Dublin, and your solicitor would send in a request for them, and they can take a couple of weeks to come down. But they would also need things like an NPPR certificate, and the proof of LPT has been paid. So there's a few bits and pieces that a solicitor would need to do with you, the seller. So ideally, to instruct a solicitor from very early on in the process. We would generally write to them, just say, hiya, we are the selling agent of this property, and please, we will be in contact, like please organise for the deeds to come in, and we'll be in contact with you once we have agreed a sale on it. A couple of other things that I would recommend is if you have ever done any work or any alterations to the property, that you would need to have a sort of exemption or a sort of completion, a sort of compliance from like an engineer. So that is kind of something that, like, when we're out on the initial appointment with you and we might see that there's been an extension, so we would just mention that to you, because if you don't have it, like, you will need it for your solicitor again. And then the only other thing really is the MPRN. Sometimes it seems to be a bit of a problem when the BER assessor is doing the BER, that the owner doesn't know the MPRN for the house. So this would usually be on the top of an electric bill, or you are able to ring ESB Networks and get your MPRN. Other than that, it's a fairly straightforward process, just the initial how to get your property on the market. And we're here to guide you every step of the way. But that's basically the gist. I hope you've more of an understanding now. If you have a property you're obviously thinking you might sell, get in contact for one of those free appraisals. The number here is 059 91 89 881, or email is, the general is sales@yourmoveproperties.ie, or my own email is nessa@yourmoveproperties.ie. Thanks, Emil. Take care.